Welcome everyone to your fortnightly foray into all things animated. It's Toonhounds. I'm Rich, and with me as always is my invisible ghost hunting dog.
I did like the sound effects when he goes invisible. He goes like, it's a proper Hanna-Barbera sound effect.
Yeah. It's Spivzy.
Hello.
How are you, chum?
I'm alright. I've got a sinus infection, but other than that, I'm fine.
Oh, yeah, Evan's got a similar thing. He's been had a weird cold for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so,
it's awful.
Yeah. Well,
see if I'm sniffling. It's
alright.
Yeah, I'm not sniffing out of derision or anything. It's
No, of course. Of course. I would never suspect such a thing from you. I was telling Spivzy before we came on air that my son Evan has made me look after his Tamagotchi for the day.
So
and it is a needy piece of shit, so I have shoved it outside the office door. And if you hear slight beeping in the background, it's because I'm being a negligent electronic parent, but I don't
hope it
care.
survives.
If electronic social services come after me, good luck finding me.
Oh, it'd be like a little alien, wouldn't it? It'd be like a Pikmin. It'd be Olimar coming to your house.
This episode, we're doing rip-off derivative cartoons of existing properties that are quite famous.
Yeah.
Good luck titling that one.
Knockoffs.
Knockoffs. And we picked a Scooby-doo rip-off by Hanna-Barbera, which is weird, called Goober and the Ghost Chasers, and a really obvious Tom and Jerry rip-off called Herman and Katnip. I'd be surprised.
We're really getting with the zeitgeist on this episode, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, one's from 1970 and one's from 1950s.
Yeah, 1953 is the earliest one that we watched.
Yeah. But I had seen Goober and the Ghost Chasers before.
Yeah, I had as well. Yeah. I didn't remember any of it, but I had seen it before.
No, I remember watching one episode and being like, that's enough.
Yeah, I remember it being on Boomerang.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We did have some debate about... Well, we didn't really. You said, is it a rip-off? And I was like, yeah.
I don't think it's a rip-off because it's the same studio.
I think it is a rip-off because they tried to replicate a formula that worked. I think it's even more shameful in a way.
It is quite,
It's like us doing another podcast called Toon Cats and
idea.
trying to replicate exactly the same formula for the same audience. I think that's so stupid.
There are so many Scooby-Doo copycats.
Yeah,
from Hanna-Barbera. They just went back to that well over and over. I mean, Jabberjaw is just Scooby-Doo, but with a shark.
The caveman, Captain Caveman, and what are they called? The genies.
What are they called?
I can't remember what they're called.
I can picture them.
Dream Team?
Is it the Pussycats? Were they in Captain Planet?
I don't think
Captain
they
Planet,
are.
Captain Caveman.
Captain Planet. Wait a minute. Let's just have a check because there's tons of them. Scooby-Doo rip-offs.
Yeah, there's loads. There's an IMDb list of Scooby-Doo copycats.
Okay, so we've got the Funky Phantom.
Oh, Funky Phantom shows up in an episode of Jellystone where he's a wrestler.
I remember that one being quite good.
Yeah,
because the main character is the ghost.
Yeah.
Speed Buggy, obviously.
Speed Buggy, yep.
Inch High Private Eye, which I've never seen.
I love Inch High Private Eye. It's so bad. It's really rubbish.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids.
Yep. Clue Club.
Clue Club's on here. Goober and the Ghost Chasers, which is our pick for the week. Clue Club, yeah.
Buford and the Galloping Ghost.
Jabberjaw. Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels. That's what they were called.
Teen Angels, yeah.
Buford and the Galloping Ghost. And the New Shmoo.
The Mr. T cartoon.
The New Shmoo. Wow.
The New Shmoo. Wasn't Shmoo from Little Abner?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. In the comic strip, yeah. I always like that Shmoo looked like a tiny chode.
He looks like a big dribbling jizz.
He looks like a chode. He's got his body is a ball bag, and he's got a tiny little neck.
What were they thinking?
I don't know, but they're all Hanna-Barbera properties, aren't they?
I think so. New Shmoo might not have been. I don't remember. I know that Filmation made a couple that they were trying to get on the bandwagon as well, because they did Fang Face, which was basically just a Scooby-Doo cartoon as well. But he's a werewolf.
So weird.
Yeah.
So weird.
I don't know why that. Why was that a thing? What was it with like solving mysteries? That everybody wanted to make a cartoon about solving mysteries and hunting ghosts.
I don't know. What is the ghost angle is the most egregious to me, because it's like, do something different. Solve a crime.
Yeah, that would have been better. Maybe it was like censorship problems, maybe. Like they couldn't have them actually solving actual crimes, so the best they could do was scaring people.
I will say that the only soul bearing the lead, like always, the soul thing I was quite intrigued about with Goober and the Ghost Chasers is I like they're like proper paranormal investigators, like working for a magazine.
Well. Yeah,
that's the bit that I like.
So they should have gone with that angle a bit further instead of it being them like solving a mystery inside a castle. Just them trying to interview ghosts, because that's fun. That's a cool thing for them to be doing.
And that's the bit about the other. Do you remember when we watched Bluey? We watched I can't remember the name of the show.
We watched Paw Patrol and
the good
Ghost one. City of Ghosts.
City of Ghosts. The bit about City of Ghosts that's the most interesting is the interviewing the ghosts.
Yeah, that should have been what this was.
Charming.
It would have been more interesting instead of it being. Yeah. Apparently, like, most of the episodes of Goober and the Ghost Chasers are about them being fake ghosts for most of the episode, and then a real ghost shows up to help them.
Right. So if the thing had have been, there's a ghost in this mansion, and we have to help them settle their business. Yeah. That would have been so much better, because that's what they do in this episode, but they do it by accident. So,
should we like start from the top of what Goober and the Ghost Chasers is?
Okay. So, Hanna-Barbera product, started in 1973. One season of 16 episodes.
Which is really short for a Hanna-Barbera.
Really short. So shows what an absolute shit show it was.
Yeah.
It was on on Boomerang. It was on in the States, shown during Fred Flintstone and Friends, the segment.
Oh, that makes sense. This is very much a segment of another show, sort of Hanna-Barbera cartoon. There's like no way this would have had its own thing. Yeah.
No. Laugh track, all the same sort of things that you would expect from a Hanna-Barbera show of the time. The Ghost Chasers later appeared in the third season of Jellystone. However, they turned out to be members of the Really Rottens in disguise.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
It's a typical Hanna-Barbera product. 3 or 4 main characters and a dog or animal sidekick. And it centres on 3 teenagers, Ted, Gilly and Tina.
Could not tell you which one was Ted and which one was Gilly.
No, absolutely not.
I'm assuming that Ted was the not Fred, because his name's Ted.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. But they write for Ghost Chasers magazine, and they go all around the world with their apparition kit to determine whether ghosts are real or not.
The Spectre Detector.
The Spectre Detector, which is great.
And the camera, the Hocus Focus, which I liked that. That was pretty fun.
The thing is, if they had have lent into this, it would have been so much funnier.
Yeah.
But they have a ghostly green dog, who I only can assume has died and come back to life.
Yeah, I think
called Goober, who can involuntarily, when he is scared or when he is excited or when he huffs his own shit and thinks his jokes are cool when they're not, can become invisible.
Yes, which is... It's the invisible thing is so funny to me because it's so obvious that it was just a cost-cutting measure. But we don't need to animate this character; he's invisible. We just need to have a hat, a single cell frame of a hat on screen.
It's so annoying as well, because if you could turn invisible, great power. Why would you put a hat and a collar on that dog? He's the most annoying thing about it.
Yeah, he breaks the fourth wall multiple times during the episodes.
It's like Deadpool, but shitter.
Yeah, the one that really bugged me about his like fourth wall breaking jokes was when he's hanging off the chandelier and the ghost of whoever it is. What's the Ahab? Is
Captain
it Captain Ahab?
Yeah.
He says like, I could see you on that chandelier, dog. He says, chandelier? I'm not even allowed on the couch. But you are on the chandelier, so that joke doesn't make any sense.
The worst joke, apart from that one, was when the redhead kid they find out, who's really fucking annoying, who looks about 50 years old, is like, he tells the same joke within 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's 3 times, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it looks like I have to go and check my grandma. And then he says something
I just remembered,
else.
I've got to go pick up my dry cleaning. But he says it 3 times during the episode.
3 different types of, look at the time. It's time for me to visit my grandma. It was not funny. Not funny at all.
Why was the Partridge Family in this episode?
I don't know. And apparently they were in quite a few of them.
Do you think when this was on the Fred Flintstone and Friends Power Hour, was the Partridge Family the segment before this one?
Possibly.
Because that would make sense. Because if not, it was impenetrable. It didn't make any sense. I don't know why they were there. Right,
so I'm going to go through the story because it is just unbelievably stupid. They're working at a magazine about ghosts, and for some reason this is like the big thing. This is like they're working for Time magazine. I didn't understand that, but they get a call from one of the Partridge Family who is on vacation with 3 random kids.
Yeah. No, they were all part. They were all just part of the Partridge Family. It's the Partridge.
Were
kids.
they? Yeah. Right. Okay.
The Partridge Family was like a travelling band family. There's like 17 of them, and they ride around in a bus doing tours and stuff like that. I think it was a live action show, and then Hanna-Barbera made a cartoon of it where they solved mysteries. Okay,
I didn't realise that the other kids were partridges as well.
Yeah, they all are.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So. Right, okay. So that makes a bit more sense. But they phone this magazine and they're like, we're at this house on the coast and the ghost of Captain Ahab and Moby Dick are here.
It's amazing. They don't waste any time. No. Scooby-Doo, this would be, they'd find out that their bus would break down and they'd end up there. But in this, if they just get a call saying, there's a ghost, you've got to come and have a look at this ghost.
Come and interview this ghost.
You see the ghost within like 15 seconds of the episode starting.
Yeah. It was weird. So my first thing was the ghost of Moby Dick.
Yeah.
The ghost of a whale.
The ghost of a fictional whale.
And the thing is, when they arrive, when the ghost chasers appear, they're like, how did you know about this ghost? Did you see it? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
We just heard it third hand from a crazy person. It's like, I would be like, get back in the bus.
The fisherman was so funny. It's like, okay, this guy is obviously the bad guy. This guy is obviously the one dressing up as the ghost because there's literally no other characters in this episode. So,
and he acts like a ghost because he vanishes.
And he does the sickos thing.
Yes.
Yeah. He does that at the back of the window.
To some kids.
Yeah.
And he looks exactly the same as the Captain Ahab ghost.
He's got the same voice. He's got the same face. It's so funny.
At one point, he was like, when the 4th bell rings, Captain Ahab will be here. This is my last warning. And I was like, well, thank fuck for that because you're really annoying. And then the kid went, oh, last warning, thank God. And I was like, is he going to say something funny? And it was no. Because he said, another warning and I'd be really scared. And I was like, that doesn't make sense.
No.
I love that when they put the Spectre detector on the house, they're like, oh, where is he? Oh, he's at the top, acting like a creeper.
And he's just like, he's waving his arms around like a like a Jawa at the top of a mountain.
Yeah. And another thing I wrote down was when they're in the car and or the drag racer.
Yeah, what was that car? That was amazing. It had like 8 wheels. It was incredible.
When they're in their all-terrain dune buggy, they head towards the house and get stuck in the mud. And while they're going there, the Partridge Girl knows a hell of a lot about these ghosts for someone who got all this info secondhand and hasn't actually seen them. She's like, oh yeah, the ghost is here. It's been here for 50 years and terrorizes the village, and there's a whale, and it's like, you didn't ask a single question. You were just making all this shit up. It amazed
me how cheap everything looked, like in comparison to Scooby-Doo. Like, Scooby-Doo doesn't look like, the pinnacle of animation or anything, but this looked really, really bad.
Really cheap.
Like, everybody had weird eyes, like really glowy, coloured eyes.
Or not coloured in eyes, which is a big thing for me. Like, when they're too lazy to even draw the eyes properly.
Yeah. Like, Ted just has black ovals for his eyes.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have a soul. That's why.
That's why.
When they get in the house, why the fuck are they so obsessed with finding a phone?
Yeah, I didn't get that. And why would the phone be so far away?
Why would there be a working phone in a derelict mansion? Why would there be a working phone at
all? Yeah. It must have just been, we need to get them to split up because this is a Scooby-Doo. But we've got no real reason for them to split up.
No.
Because we've got no money to have any extra characters in this.
No.
Because usually it would be like, oh, we've got to go, on the other side of the house to talk to the housekeeper or something.
Yeah.
Or we've got to go split up and look for clues.
Yeah. You go with the butler, and Shaggy and Scoob, you can go to the kitchen.
Yeah, because if this was a Scooby-Doo episode and they went into a haunted house and there was nobody there asking them to solve any kind of mystery, what would be keeping them there? Like, there needs to be, like, Shaggy's old uncle who owns the castle asking them for assistance.
But don't worry about that. We've got 5 Partridge Kids that we don't care about.
That was wild as well. First episode of Goober and the Ghost Chasers, and we spend more time with the Partridge Family than the actual Ghost Chasers.
I found it really interesting.
There's no personality for any of the Ghost Chasers. We don't find anything out about them.
I wanted to know about the main characters, the geeky science guy, the jock, and the girl character who essentially was like a mix of Daphne and Velma.
Yes.
But she was the journalist.
Yeah.
Like, she was the interesting one. You had the leader, the scientist, the journalist. And I was like, okay, all right, I like this setup. Yeah. But no, they don't do anything. You get some stupid Captain Ahab bits where, to be honest, I was just so checked out at this point. I was like, when the ghost stuff started happening, I was like, oh, okay, fine.
I got about 19 minutes in and looked at the time and thought, shit, there's another 10 minutes of this.
So he scares the scientist and the redhead kid that everyone wants to get rid of.
The token redhead. I was wondering. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna put in Partridge Family because.
Did they look anything like this?
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera had a thing about having just red-headed children in their episodes for no reason. Oh no, there was a redhead kid.
Okay.
There was indeed, and he honestly looks a lot like he does in the cartoon.
He does. Soulless. Soulless idiot.
Yeah.
Then Ahab seems to be in 2 places at once for a lot of this episode, which is impossible, obviously.
Oh, can I tell you what a really annoying part that really bugged me?
Good.
There's the haunted rocking chair. and he falls into the rocking chair and goes, "Get me out of this thing." He's not strapped in any way. He's just in a chair. Just stand up. And then there's the big reveal that it wasn't really a haunted rocking chair. There was a massive metal rod sticking out the back of it.
I always loved that.
Who was operating this rod at the back of the chair?
Idea.
They would have to be invisible.
And then the journalist character says, there's something funny going on here. It's like, no shit.
Yeah.
No shit. Thank you for that.
That's why she's the journalist.
Pulitzer Prize winner. I've just found out that in the second episode, Macbeth's ghost is haunting a theatre.
That's not a real person.
Frankenstein's monster is in the 4th one.
Wow. See, they couldn't even come up with their own unique characters.
No.
How cheap this series have been to produce.
There is a character in the 7th episode called Willy Waxman. Quickly moving on. So after they
that was Vincent Price's character in House of Wax, wasn't it?
I don't know, was it?
I don't know.
After they deal with the very scary automated rocking chair, they then have to deal with the very scary fake sheet ghost.
Yes, and the very, very scary player piano.
Oh, that was one of my favourite bits. Get a shot of me playing the pipe organ. It'll be great publicity. What?
For what reason? Yeah, I
Pipe
keep forgetting
organ monthly.
I keep forgetting that they're meant to be in a band, I think. The Partridge Kids.
It's so strange. So strange.
Why was this a Partridge Family cartoon?
I don't know. Just make it one or the other.
Yeah.
The redhead... I've got here, the redhead kid looks 50.
He looks so old. It's the lines on the side of his face.
And then
they
I've
gave
got...
him, like, laugh lines.
The two Partridge Kids that get lost are basically the same models as Daphne and Freddie.
They are, yeah. They didn't need to be in it.
No.
They don't do anything.
And then basically they find out that Ahab, quote unquote, is the fisherman who's been warning them, or is he? But he's been using a white submarine, hence the ghost of Moby Dick, to smuggle something.
Something. Presumably
we don't know
cocaine.
what.
LSD, maybe? It is the 70s.
Don't know. But there's nothing in this house worth smuggling out.
No.
So it must be something in.
This house comprised of just endless hallways. And
a dock.
Rooms. Yeah.
And a dock big enough for a submarine. But it turns out that as they capture the kids, the real ghost of Captain Ahab turns up and helps them out.
Yeah. So that was a coincidence, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then uses an exploding harpoon to blow up Moby Dick.
That was my favourite part of the episode, where he throws it and it demolishes that submarine. Like it's just an enormous explosion. And then the ghost of Captain Ahab says, "Now that I've gotten rid of that whale, I can rest in peace." It
wasn't a whale.
And then he vanishes.
It wasn't a whale. It's a submarine.
So funny. Has the ghost of Captain Ahab just been hanging out in this house, waiting for the possibility that one day something similar to a whale might appear inside the house?
I don't know.
And doesn't Captain Ahab die killing Moby Dick?
Yes. They die together.
Yeah. So he's already defeated Moby Dick.
Yeah, but he's got to defeat this other Moby Dick, Moby Dick 2, which is a metal Moby Dick.
Maybe he died like a second before Moby Dick died. So to his eternal soul, he didn't win the battle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The real killer of Moby Dick was chronic blood loss.
Yeah.
It's worth saying as well that later on in this series, Wilt Chamberlain, the NBA star, and Michael Gray, who played Shazam in the who played Billy Batson in the Shazam show, both appear in this show. This is how fucking wacky this is.
Yeah.
It's what is weird is that there was a Partridge Family cartoon.
Yes, there was. Yeah.
Partridge Family 2200 AD.
What you would say in the future?
I think so. Yeah.
I thought that was there multiple Partridge Family cartoons, because that's insane.
It was proposed as an updated version of the Jetsons. How do you update a future show with people from the past?
And they did that all the time anyway. Like there's a Josie and the Pussycats in space. They just sent people to space willy-nilly. Yogi Bear was in space for a while.
All right, okay. So yeah, there's not really much more to say about this. This is a really terribly produced, animated, voiced, cliched version of Scooby-Doo, which is already quite a cliched show.
Yeah.
It was just fucking awful.
It was pretty bad, yeah. I don't think I'd ever watch any more of it.
No.
I want to watch the Clue Club next, though, to see what that one's like.
Yeah, we'd have to do a show on Scooby-Doo derivatives. And watch Clue Club and Half Inch Minch, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Half Inch Minch, that's his name. Inch Eye Private Eye.
Inch Eye Private Eye.
I always had
in
my Hanna-Barbera Star Trek crossover, the USS Jellystone. Inch Eye Private Eye is the head of security in that.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Jabba Jaw as Worf.
Yeah. It's Captain Yogi and he's first officer.
Oh yeah. I do think that this is very, very offensive to me. This show.
It's just bad. It was just bad. Like it wasn't even funny bad. It was just bad.
You instantly lose me if your comedic character is the most annoying person on the show. It was like Alf.
Oh God, mate! There's an Alf cartoon as well.
Yeah.
Do you think he solves mysteries in that one?
Probably.
But
Goober was so annoying.
It was awful. I couldn't tell when he was doing his fourth wall breaking. Can the other characters know that he's talking?
I don't know.
Are they aware that he has got the power of human speech? Because nobody really acknowledges it.
No, either we're the only ones who can understand him, or he's so fucking annoying that no one wants to talk to him.
Yeah.
And I believe both of those things.
Yeah. I did get the feeling that you could edit Goober out of this entire episode and it would be the same.
Yeah, he didn't do anything of any value.
He doesn't, no. Because like the fun of Scooby-Doo is him like getting accidentally involved in the ghost chasing.
Yeah.
Or like, disguising himself as a barber so he can give the ghost a haircut and tie him up with towels.
I think the key to Scooby-Doo's success is that Scooby and Shaggy are both idiots.
Yeah.
And they work really well together.
If Goober had a character with him, like the Funky Phantom, if the Funky Phantom was there with Goober, that would be great. They'd be like they'd be the double act. But because it's Goober by himself and nobody seems to be paying any attention to anything he's doing, it doesn't work.
He's a perfect amalgamation of Shaggy, all the worst parts of Shaggy and Scooby as well.
Yeah.
He looks like a stoner dog.
Yeah, and he doesn't even try to go and make a giant sandwich at any point.
No. He doesn't try and overcome his fear or anything. He's window dressing, but like bird shit is a window dressing.
Yeah, he was a bad character. I didn't mind Gilly. The thing is, I liked the human characters if we got to see anything more about them.
Yeah.
I think there was something to them because we had like the journalists. That's a cool thing for them to be doing. Instead of trying to like hunt the ghosts, you just want to have interviews with them. That's fun.
And more importantly, in the 70s, the smartest character was the woman character again, and she was the one who had the impetus going forward. Like she wanted to get that scoop on the ghost. That would have been great.
And I couldn't really work out what Ted's role was in the Ghost Catchers magazine because you've got the photographer and they've got the journalist. So what does Ted do? Is he like the editor?
Maybe.
Or
as the leader,
the guy who answers the phone. And I thought that was really funny as well. The like a set dressing in their offices. They've got a phone and a table, and that's it.
And a tripod.
And a tripod, yeah.
Why was he trying to take a photo of Goober at the start?
I think he was just testing out the camera.
See, for a second,
because he was using the hocus pocus to take the picture of the camera, right? That immediately made me think, is Goober a ghost?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And that's why he turns invisible. But that would have been much more interesting.
Yeah.
But they didn't go with that. Instead, they put the Partridge Family in it.
If they rebooted Goober and the Ghost Chasers for the modern audience, they've made a live-action Netflix series. It was a grown-up version of Goober and the Ghost Chasers. Goober wouldn't turn invisible until like episode 6, and there'd be like a huge build-up to him being able to turn invisible. It'd be like his leg would go invisible at one point, and it'd be like, what's going on here? We'd have to learn everything about it.
But the thing is, if I rebooted this cartoon, I'd have that Ted was... Sorry, I'm doing it. The Scooby-Doo's connection. I'd have that Ted's beloved dog died, this was him trying to get him back.
Yeah. Goober is like a Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Ted built Goober. He reanimated him. He's in necromancy.
And that pulls him into the view of the Ghost Chasers.
Oh, yeah, because when he used his necromantic abilities... He broke down the veil between the living and the dead. So now the ghosts are coming out. That's where the ghosts are coming from.
Now
he's got to keep it a secret. Yeah, and he's trying to keep it a secret, but he feels so guilty that he's trying to help the ghosts return to the other side.
Yeah, that sounds good. That would be much better. No Partridge Family.
No, the Partridge Family isn't in it.
Ted, and then you could have Ted somehow, because he broke the veil... He's the only one who knows where the ghosts are, and they're always like, how do you always know where these things are going to happen? He's like, just got a knack for it.
Yeah. See, we're making it right here.
By the way, here's my ghost dog.
Don't listen to him. He can talk, but don't acknowledge it.
Yeah. Goober would be able to talk to the ghosts.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
This is great.
It's much better.
Yeah.
What would you give it? What would you give it out of 10?
Probably a 4, I think.
Oh, I think
that's generous.
I think I was heading for 3, mainly because I'm automatically... I wanted to give it a 4, but the Partridge Family inclusion is so stupid.
Yeah.
And detracts from actually learning anything about or loving the characters. Yeah. And it's just like, nah. And then Goober, man. Goober's such a shit character. Terrible.
I doubt this is the kind of cartoon that's got this level of information available about it online. But I wonder, was this the first in the production order? Or was it just the first one that they released?
God, I don't know.
Because it's a really weird choice to have the first episode they made have a cameo appearance by the Partridge Kids.
Yeah. It seems to be that they oh my God. The last episode, Goober and the kids check out a report from a farm that is haunted by the ghost of Old MacDonald.
What? He wasn't a real person.
No, Sherlock Holmes.
Oh.
Don Miguel.
God, the Goober and the Ghost Chasers extended universe is really confusing because this implies Sherlock Holmes and Moby Dick took place in the same world, and Macbeth.
Don Giovanni.
What's Don Giovanni in it?
Ichabod, the ghost of Ichabod Ipswich.
So, Sleepy Hollow also took place in real life in this world. Yeah. Wow. Does that mean
Willy
Mr. Toad? Did Mr. Toad take place as well?
The Partridge Kids, Goober and the gang decide to spend their vacation in Karobi, land of the Arabian Nights.
Oh dear. Oh man, I bet that one's got some choice characters in it.
And the ghost of King Osiris and his mummies are haunting the city. It's just like... Yeah, all right, fine. I'm done. 3.
It wasn't very good.
No, it wasn't. I'm glad we watched something that was sort of esoteric enough to not really be a rip-off, because it's not someone else trying to cash in on the success. But I find it I find it more offensive because rip-offs are sometimes great, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a rip-off that is fantastic in its own right.
Oh, Z Nation. The Walking Dead rip-off. That show is fantastic. Right,
there you go.
Yeah.
But this is worse to me in a way because it's so exploitative. We've hit on a rich vein of gold, everyone. Produce 10 shows like this.
Yeah, it's incredible. How did these all get aired?
I don't know.
What kind of power did Hanna-Barbera have over the cartoon industry in the 60s and 70s? That every idea they had would get made and aired.
Yeah. Scooby-Doo but a ghost. Scooby-Doo but a shark. Scooby-Doo but a caveman.
Scooby-Doo but a cat.
It's just Scooby-Doo but an inch-high private eye.
Yeah.
It's so strange, so strange. I've never known a studio do this, just a cut and paste show 10 times.
Yeah.
So strange. It's awful. Genuinely awful. Yeah. If anyone has, I'm sure people will have some memories of this in the emails, maybe, if we've got any this week. But
I don't know if we have.
I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't have emails either. All right, shall we take a break and we'll come back and talk about Herman and Katnip? Because we're so finger on the pulse with this show.
We are.
All right, we'll see you in a few.
Bye.
You may now exhibit my prize-winning photograph of the ghost of Captain Ahab.
It is the real ghost.
Goober, you'll get the cover of Ghost Chasers magazine for sure.
How did he do it?
It's easy. Just keep it under your hat.
Goober and the Ghost Chasers, today on Boomerang from Cartoon Network. It's all coming back to you.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're doing well after that 30-second interlude. Or that you've not turned off, at least.
Yeah.
But then you wouldn't be able to hear us if you did. So,
Yeah, so
Weird.
fuck you.
So our second rip-off of the evening was a little show called Herman and Katnip. If you haven't heard of it, don't worry, I hadn't either.
Most people hadn't.
But do you want to talk about Herman and Katnip, which is fucking awful name?
Yeah, it's terrible. Really, I mean, Katnip should be the name of the mouse for starters.
Yeah.
I can't get my head around the fact that Herman is the mouse. It's just not a mouse name.
It's not.
If it was Katnip and Herman, because in my head it's like Tom and Jerry is cat and mouse, but this is mouse and cat. It's always called Herman and Katnip.
It's weird. If he's got the harsher sounding name, so it's just incredibly. It doesn't sound right. If it was Hermie and Katnip, even
yeah, because also Herman in my head is like a beefy character.
Yeah.
But yeah, Herman and Katnip. I only knew about this one because I was, what they're called, Harvey Toons, the ones that Casper the Friendly Ghost, the Richie Rich and all that lot.
Yeah.
On the Harvey Toons logo, there's a rabbit on the side, and I looked everywhere and could not find who this rabbit was. I recognise all the other characters that are on the logo because it's got like Baby Huey on there. They've got Casper. They've got Red Hot. Got Little Dot. All that lot. There's no information about this rabbit anywhere. So I ended up on like a deep dive going through Harvey Toons and Harvey Comics properties and found Herman and Katnip in the list and thought that sounds pretty bad because it's even from like the title you can tell this is a Tom and Jerry. It's meant to be Tom and Jerry. So I looked into it and found out that when they were making Itchy and Scratchy for The Simpsons, it's more based on Herman and Katnip than on Tom and Jerry because it's more violent.
It's much more violent.
And I thought, shit, I've got to watch this then. If it's more violent than Tom and Jerry to an Itchy and Scratchy level, there's no way I'm not watching it. So that's how I came to know about Herman and Katnip.
Did you know that Famous Studios, the production company that made this, were Fleischer?
Yes, they were. Yeah, it was an offshoot, wasn't it? And then it got renamed Paramount Cartoon Studios. Yeah. In the middle of the 50s. Yeah. So the 3 episodes that we watched, one of them was when it was under Famous Studios. Mm-hmm. One was when it was just before it became Paramount Cartoon Studios, and one was just after Harvey Comics bought the rights to all of the characters. Yeah. So we've got like the 3 different eras of it.
Yeah, it's a weird situational problem.
So the earliest one we watched was called Of Mice and Magic, which is probably the most functional of the 3 episodes.
But I would say the least entertaining.
Yes, it was a bit slow. I did get a bit bored in this one. The episodes were only like 6 minutes long. That's why we watched 3 of them. Yeah. But this was the only one where it was the both of them were the proper in inverted commas voice actors for the both characters. Mm-hmm. Where it was Arnold Stang playing Herman and Sid Raymond playing Katnip. Because with the other ones, somebody else will often play another character. They used to like swap out and have other people come in. Like Jackson Beck would voice Herman in a couple of episodes, and Jack Mercer would play Katnip in a couple of episodes. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know why.
No, it almost seemed like, who can do an Italian accent? Because we're going to do an offensive Italian one this time. Okay, get him in. Who's going to be the one who can pretend to do ye old English? Yeah. Bring that guy in.
The first episode was Of Mice and Magic, which is set inside a theatre, and we get another sexy mouse character. We love sexy mice characters on Toonhounds.
I mean, V's going to love this character.
Yeah.
It's Betty Boop, but the mouse version.
Yeah, it was a very 1953's idea of sexy, wasn't it?
Yeah. She was showing ankles, Spivzy.
Yeah, it was like a very boop boopy doop sort of musical number.
Weirdly infantilized as well.
Yeah. They always were, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, the big head, the affected childy voice. Yeah. I hate that shit, even though Betty Boop is kind of like a weird sort of... I think I admire Betty Boop just because of her contribution to... Like, she's a real thing. But her contribution to cartoons rather than the fact that... And Rubber Hose and stuff like that, rather than the fact that she is a good, quote-unquote, character.
Yeah.
But same.
I thought it was really funny that there's like a group of maybe 10 or 12
cloned mice.
Clone mice in the audience, but they use the soundtrack of like an entire stadium of people applauding.
Yep. Yeah. They're all like whistling, and there's like 8 mice, and the 3 that are whistling are producing enough wolf whistles for 20 people.
Yeah, it's really funny.
And it's weird because I would have expected them to be like eyes out on stalks, but actually it wasn't like an ogling type of audience.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
they just loved her.
They just really.
She was a celebrity.
Like? It was Louise. Like Louise. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, and I called him Herman. Katnip is just like happens to be asleep inside the inside the auditorium, and he's got this like the worst, like stupidest voice. It's clearly meant to be a parody of some 1950s actor, some local celebrity, but I can't think who.
Time for a midnight snack.
Yeah, he's got a very snagglepuss sort of voice sometimes, and then sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah, sometimes he sounds like he is a proper actor, like he's a Cary Grant or something. Yeah. And then other times he's like, "Oh, gee, it's time for a snack."
Yeah, it's time for a snack.
There you go. We've done all the voices.
Yeah, that's all. That's how the different ways. I mean, we're not doing the racist Italian version. Oh wow.
Yeah, there was a lot of stereotypes in that episode, and fat shaming.
Yeah.
A lot of fat shaming.
Yeah.
Although I would say that was probably the best episode out of the 3.
It had the best violence in it.
Yeah, yeah. Apart from a cat getting split in half by an axe, which I was like, shit, that was fucking amazing. Hell.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
But yeah, the best Tom and Jerry
we've got to talk about
moments.
the violence in this. Because Tom and Jerry, Jerry would be being chased by Tom and would then retaliate in some fashion. In this, Herman bides his time. He waits until Katnip is he's not ready for it, and then he strikes. He's like a predator. Yeah.
Well, especially in the Robin Hood episode as well. He is a real predator. And stealer of pocket knives.
Yeah. The Wikipedia page for Herman and Katnip says frequently Herman and his mouse companions would sing a victory song as they observed Katnip being brutally tortured. He's eaten by sharks. He's killed in a rock slide, strung up with Christmas lights and plugged into an electric socket, gets electrocuted by a shock tester machine, flattened, and dies with his ghost being warned about the fiery furnace.
Wow.
They go ham on it. In the 3rd episode, You Said a Mouthful, where Katnip works in a pizza place in Italy, and is the most Italian stereotype you could possibly think of. He's singing that's Amore while making pizzas, but the song is now about pizza. Yep. He is thrown into a freezer and flash frozen, and I was sure that Herman was going to show up with a hammer and
shatter him.
Yeah, but he doesn't. No. I was very surprised by that. He gets thrown into a wall and turned into pizza at one point with potato. I think it was potato.
No, it was dough.
Was it dough?
It was dough, yeah.
He gets crushed, he gets flattened, he gets electrocuted, he gets
split
burnt,
in half by an axe.
Gets split in half. He gets he's inside a suit of armour when Herman starts a fire inside the suit of armour.
That actually was quite funny.
He gets attacked by sharks. Crocodiles.
Oh,
he gets stuck inside the drawbridge. Gets hit by arrows. It's really violent. It was really, really violent.
Yeah. The most offensively violent bit in Tom and Jerry was always that really, really offensive Pilgrims versus Native American over Thanksgiving dinner, where they put a band between the turkey legs, and they fire a candle at Tom, and it hits him in the tail, and he goes up.
Yeah.
Like he just instantly burns. And I think that was probably 2-3 stages below some of the stuff that happened in this cartoon.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if we get to see skulls in some of these episodes. If it was a proper itchy and scratchy. I mean, that just makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. The the Mice and Magic episode was I think it had the most connective tissue and felt like a story.
Yeah.
However, it was the most boring.
Yeah, it was the most boring. Yeah. I can't really remember what he did with the magic. I remember him getting the magic wand and the hat.
Yeah, all I can remember really is them flying off on it at the end.
Yeah.
They turn him small, don't they?
Yeah.
And stick him in a cage.
And I don't know which one it was. It's in one of them. I think it was in the Robin Rodin Hood one.
Yeah.
Herman hits him in the head with a mallet, and he like squashes his head onto the table. Then he like lifts his head up, and his face is still stuck to the table.
I mean, it was violent, but it was really funny. Some of these episodes were really funny. Why did they call it Robin Rodent Hood, and then but he was called Robin Hoodlum in the episode?
Yeah.
Doesn't make.
They could have just called it Rodent Hood.
Yeah. Robin Hoodlum, I would have been fine with.
Yeah. And that was one bit that really annoyed me in Robin Rodent Hood. It was the "Have you had enough time to look at the joke yet?" part where he's holding up the taxes, and it stays on screen for like 40 seconds. Like, yeah, I could read.
That did make me laugh, and then I was like, "Okay, let's move on." And then
I like that one of the taxes was for heart attacks.
Heart attacks, yeah. And thumbtacks.
Yeah.
But that scene, that's too much. You can't paint him as that much of a villain.
Yeah. He was a proper villain in that one.
Tom never... I always get the feeling with Tom and Jerry that Tom is acting on instinct, right? He's not a bad person until, like, the later Chuck, whatchamacallit, episodes. What's his name? Chuck?
Deech.
Yeah. But those episodes are bad because Tom is just horrible. But in the originals, Tom is just acting on instinct. Like, he sees a mouse run past and he has to get it.
Yeah.
But Katnip is awful as a person in that Robin Hood one especially.
Out the 3 episodes, it was hard to keep track on the like the internal rules of animals.
Yeah.
Because in the first one, he's just a cat.
Yeah.
Second one, he's playing a character, so I can excuse that one because he's just he's playing the sheriff of Nottingham, so it doesn't really matter if it's not But in the third one, he's running a pizzeria.
That episode was the most offensive, and it's like it happens in Tom and Jerry as well. The most offensive, culturally insensitive episodes of Tom and Jerry are normally the ones with the best jokes in, bar those ones. If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But like nothing about the pizzeria episode was funny with him singing singing in a version of That's Amore in a fake Italian accent.
Yeah,
but
the worst Italian accent I've ever heard.
But watching Herman sling meatballs into his eyes and then hitting him with dough so he turns into a pizza that then Chubby.
I was honestly worried that Chubby was going to go and chop him up and eat him.
Yeah, but he takes a bite out of the pizza, and then he Katnip just jumps up in the air as if his tail's been bitten. That was really funny.
Yeah. I liked the when Chubby. I can't believe his name was Chubby.
I can't believe his name was Chubby.
Where he throws the pizza in the air, then holds up a knife and
shaves it into a sort of like straw that he then swallows. I really liked when they were trying to make him in shape to be part of the Mouse Army. Yeah, and he's eating everything he possibly can. Yeah, it's like really funny.
He's pulling cheese out the floor. Where did that come from?
And then his weights are apples that he was taking nibbles of. Yeah. It was just really good. Like, if he hadn't have been called Chubby...
Yeah.
If Herman hadn't have mocked him for his weight, I would have been...
It's a very 1958 nickname, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, okay, all right. You know, it's of its time. But it was like... It was quite funny. That episode in particular. I'd watch more of these, even though they are inconsistent. And I would say my biggest problem with them is sort of like the reverse of the problem I have of Mice and Magic, in that there was no connective tissue.
Yeah. It was like, just the settings were just like an excuse, really, weren't they, to do things with different props and set pieces.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you wonder: is there like a connecting thing between the episodes? Like, do they live in the same house in different things, or is it always them in a different, situation?
Because I would say that one of the skills of Tom and Jerry is the first minute setting the scene very well. Like, you think about Zoot Suit as an episode. We both love the Zoot Suit episode. Yeah. He wants to wear the Zoot Suit because he hears on the radio her listening to that advert of What Makes a Man, right?
Yeah.
Instantly sets it up. And then Jerry wants a Zoot Suit too. And that is so clever that you don't need anything else. There's so many episodes of Tom and Jerry. Like, Mama Two Shoes will come in and say, like, I've set the table. Don't let anything happen to this, Tom. And it's just kind of like, okay, all right, fine. Or a circus train crashes and the elephant is on the loose. It's just, those sorts of setups are so invaluable. And the Italian episode had it a little bit, but then there was no connective tissue between the joke elements of it. Like, all of a sudden, Herman is trying to kill Katnip, and you have no idea why. Yeah.
It's really weird. I found... I'll send you the picture so you can actually see before I'd like to describe it. They made... because Harvey Comics bought Herman and Katnip, they made, comic books of it.
Yeah,
and
I love that picture.
They've, like, redesigned the two characters. So now Herman is wearing, like, skin-tight red pants.
Yep.
And a bow tie. So he looks like either Heckle or Jekyll. One of them two.
And Katnip is a brown cat now with like piss yellow detailing with a clown nose.
Yeah, with a big red nose.
What's that about?
Yeah. I don't really get it. It was funny that you could tell that the third episode that we watched, the Italian restaurant one, was from a different studio because the outlines are enormous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Big black outlines on all of the characters. Also, I think that the name Herman and Katnip, it sounds German, doesn't it?
Yeah. They avoid giving characters like harsh consonant sounds in their names quite often. Herman is very of a German name anyway.
Yeah.
And starting a name with a K, it's very harsh too. Like, you never see any Karens or Karas or Keith or anything like that, mainly because they're not good names, not popular names now anyway. But harsh consonant sounds always sound like curse words.
Yeah.
But it was weird. It's a weird show.
Yeah, it was weird. It was it surprises me that it lasted as long as it did. It's like the first episode was like
1947 apparently.
The first one with Herman in was 1944. He was in the Novel Toon series, which was made by Famous Studios, and he was in. I think he was with a rooster named Henry. Yep. And the last episode that they made was all the way down in 1959.
59, yeah.
So it lasted like nearly 20 years.
Yeah. They were on their own for a little while, weren't they?
Yeah.
There were some Herman solos and some Katnip solos. Buzzy and Katnip. And
Buzzy was he was a racist caricature. He was a crow.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. And when they put Herman and Katnip cartoons on the Casper the Friendly Ghost, like as a segment, they took out all of Buzzy's lines because they were so racist. Yeah.
But
let me see. Let me check. The guy who voiced Herman in Robin Hood was Jackson Beck, and he was the announcer on The Adventures of Superman, the radio show.
Ah.
And he played Bluto in the Popeye theatrical shorts as well.
Did you also know that Herman and Katnip were originally in Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Were they really?
They had to cut the scene out of the film.
That's funny. Where were they going to be?
They were going to be in an Acme's funeral scene.
Oh, they never did that, did they? I don't remember that scene.
They cut the whole scene.
Wow. I wonder who else was in that.
Yeah. Who knows, man?
Who knows?
But, yeah. in spite of its flaws,
I've got to tell you
it.
this. I've got like a fun. It's a fun fact that's got nothing to do with Herman and Katnip. I'm just on Jackson Beck's Wikipedia page. Right. It says he's got recurring roles. Uses a tough guy. On Superman episodes featuring Batman, he played Bruce Wayne's butler, Alfred Beagle.
Alfred Beagle.
Yeah, he wasn't called Pennyworth. He was Alfred Beagle.
Alfred Tennyson Pennyworth.
Yes, yeah, ATP.
ATP. I can't tell if I liked this or not. I think I liked it.
I liked it for how like egregiously violent it was for no reason. Because that's like always been the trope of these old cartoons, and it's quite fun to actually find one where that's true.
Yeah, I think what I liked is the joke elements of it were genuinely funny. Like the meatballs in the eyes, turning him into a pizza, did make me laugh. Yeah, like genuinely laugh.
I thought it was endearing when Herman shows up in the Mice and Magic one and he's singing a little song and he's holding the flowers because he's going to go and give the flowers to Louise. I liked that because he does like a little song. I thought that was fun.
Good.
Yeah.
The worst one out of the three, I think, was the Robin Hood one, mainly because it had the worst bits of both.
Yeah,
no connective tissue, but some connective tissue that didn't work.
Really strange to do a Robin Hood episode and not have it mostly set in a forest. Yeah. Like he should have had, the other mice should have been his merry men, merry mice. But instead the entire thing is set inside the castle.
Yeah, do you know what I just thought? Tom and Jerry would do this show better.
Yeah, yeah. Because I thought it was really funny when Katnip made that like torture chamber device in the Robin Hood episode so that he could like boil him in oil. Yeah. Why did he go to those lengths? Like, just put him in the oil. He made a cage, a pulley system.
Yeah. There were lots of things where I was like, if Tom and Jerry had have done this, this would have happened. So when Katnip was chasing Herman after he had the wheel of cheese and he was running the wheel down towards the centre of the castle. Yeah. He then jumped on the table, and if that was a Tom and Jerry cartoon, Tom would have hit into the table.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah,
and he didn't do that.
He would have turned into like a perfect right angle.
Yeah, or his neck would have went back or something like that. And it was just there were just little missing bits. Yeah, and I think that just shows the quality of Tom and Jerry, that like everything is leading to or lending itself to a joke.
Like even when he gets chopped in half. When Katnip gets chopped in half, he just sort of like
pulls himself together again.
Goes back together. If it was a Tom and Jerry cartoon and Tom got chopped in half, he got chopped in half hot dog style. Yeah, he would have held his hands together and then pulled himself back together.
Or do you know what he would have done? He would have run in two directions for a little while.
Yeah, and he would have been like hopping on one leg
and then bumped back together accidentally. Yeah. Running in circles because he's only got one leg. But yeah, I think...
And we would have also seen... We would definitely have seen a scene at the end where Herman would have eaten the cheese wheel and he would have gone all big.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, when he fires the arrow to get the cheese wheel back, it's a Swiss cheese block. Why did the arrow not go through the... holes in the cheese, and then Herman whistle and the arrow turn back so that he could pulley the cheese back.
Yeah, or have a string on it and it goes through the hole and then wraps up around all the other strings like it's tied a knot. Yeah. Yeah. And it would have done like a
yes. There were just little bits where they were like, it was like, this is not as polished a production as Tom and Jerry, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
And it made me instantly want to watch some more Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. Nobody's ever done it better than Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. Well, that's why they finished in the top 10 of our Toonhounds rundown.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where Herman and Katnip would land. I don't think it would have got past the first round.
No, probably not.
Unless it was something equally awful.
I'm worried about the next time that we do this because if we do it after another 3 years, we've got some shit on the list already. The jokes were good. I think I'd probably give it a 5.
Yeah, it's so middle of the road.
Yeah, the highs were high and the lows were too low.
Yeah.
It just made me want to watch something else, and I think that's not a compliment to a show. Like, if you watch a show and you think, "Oh, I'd much rather this be like this," then that can't score higher than a 5.
Yeah, it's so because this was like, I mean, it wasn't originally theirs, but because it's a Harvey Comics thing, I want to watch Casper the Friendly Ghost, like the originals, because I remember liking them. I remember thinking they were funny when I was a kid, but were they bad?
Yeah, probably. We're going to have to do an episode one time that is Casper and Richie Rich.
Yeah, just do a Harvey Toons episode. Yeah.
Yeah, because Casper is definitely the ghost of Richie Rich. They're exactly the same character.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And Hot Stuff, his soul went to hell and became a devil. He looks exactly the same as well. Yeah, I'd like to do a Harvey Toons, and I'd like to do a Terry Toons episode as well.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Would you give it a 5 as well?
Yeah. I don't think it deserves any less or more.
It's a low-scoring episode, although I do feel like we had a bit more to talk about in the, or at least more that was positive in this half of the episode.
Yeah, they weren't enjoyable. I'm going to watch them so that I know they weren't enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else with Toonhounds, you get a catalogue of things that you don't want to watch again.
Yeah. Or you can watch it yourself and prove us wrong. Tell us that it's the greatest cartoon you've ever seen. Mate, there's probably somebody out there who is just, he loves Herman and Katnip. Some, 14-year-old with a DeviantArt account does nothing but talk about Herman and Katnip.
Some people make these things their whole personalities, don't they?
Yeah. We say on a podcast about cartoons.
Yeah, but none of these cartoons are any part of my personality.
Yeah,
apart from Batman, maybe.
Yeah,
and Looney Tunes and The Simpsons. All right, shall we do the cursory check for emails? Even though we're pretty sure we don't have any this week.
God, I hate this phone sometimes. Where are we? Gmail. We got a follow-up email from Thomas.
Oh.
When it was,
Hello,
he wished me a happy birthday last episode, and it's an email saying, "Oh shit, I'm sorry. Happy birthday, Rich."
That's fine. I was only playing around. I'm 41 years old. I don't really need a happy birthday, but I did it for comedic effect. But thank you anyway.
We've got another follow-up email from V saying, "No, Richard, the dog from We Just Normal Men is Hacker T-Dog. You hack V."
What?
That was... Oh, God, I'm trying to think of the context behind it. It was about the broom closet thing that she said. Neither of us understood the reference, and you said, was that the dog from We Just Normal Men?
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't, apparently. That was Hacker T-Dog.
Okay.
There's an email from V.
Thanks, V.
This one is entitled Bloop 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 Wow Wow Yippee Woo 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 Bloop Broom Broom Broom. It's V Yippee Wow Wow Hound Dog Howl. Awoo.
Woo.
How are you? Woof woof. I'm alright. I've got a bit of a cold.
Yeah, I'm alright. I'm enjoying my time off after I quit my job.
Yeah.
Put in some applications for some new jobs.
Nice.
100% in Spider-Man on PS5 because I've got barely anything to do.
Is that the original or the sequel?
The original, because the sequel I've already got 100% on because it was super easy.
Yeah, it is on that one, to be honest.
The remaster with all the DLC, you have to do every crime in every borough 4 times, and I was like, for fuck's sake, why did I start this?
Yeah. I did 100% on that when it first came out, and it wasn't too bad. But then I did it 100% on the the difficulty that you unlock after beating the game.
Ultimate, yeah.
Yeah, I did it on that because honestly, the fights in that game are not difficult.
No,
it's punch, go into their legs, punch.
Also, the double stick abilities that you have, one of them is web up everyone around you.
Yeah.
If you're in an alleyway, it's like, okay, well then I've won this fight.
Yeah, and there's one which is I think it like doubles the speed at which you can get to ultimates.
Yeah.
To do like the special moves.
Yeah.
So if you get that one, and you only have to hit like 5 people, and you've got enough to do a big, knockout thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good game though.
Yeah.
I just think That and Arkham Knight, you feel... the Arkham trilogy.
Yeah.
Maybe not the first one so much, but in City and Knight, you do feel like the characters you're supposed to be. And I think that's really important. I also 100%ed Lego Marvel superheroes.
Oh, I've done that one as well.
Yeah. It's annoying. All the stuff you do outside the level.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
It doesn't take very long, though, that one. It's like,
no.
Yeah. The Lego game's quite good for trying to 100%. I'm trying to finish Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Oh, good luck.
I remember that was like near the end. Like I've done something like 70% of the challenges, but it's just mahjong. I just can't do it.
I can't imagine how much time it takes to 100% those Yakuza games.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go back to them I get into them again, but I'd never change the save file. So I just go back and think, oh, that's how far I got, and try to get a little bit more in it.
Go back every 2 years.
Yeah, one day I'll beat them. Yeah, because I'm back into playing those because the new one comes out this month.
It does.
I'm not going to get it yet, but I'm going to be watching people playing it. So.
Well, the thing is, Yakuza games are not popular outside of, or there may be a bit more now, but they were never very popular over here, so they would go down in price very, very quickly.
Yeah, I'm going to get it. I mean, I'm going to get it because you play as a pirate. It's going to be great. The email says, didn't watch this week's cartoons, woof woof. Rich, why are you so hot for Renamon?
What's Renamon?
Renamon was the Digimon from the last episode that you said had
the
a sexy
fox
voice. Yeah, the one that you said had a sexy voice.
It was supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Email go V, and that's the end of the email.
All right, yeah.
Oh shit! I just accidentally archived that episode, that email.
Wow.
So yeah, that's good. So I can go back and look at that one in the future.
One day you'll see that and you'll be like, why the hell have I done that?
Why did I favourite that? Yeah, in like 25 years' time when I'm in, on the moon in my space caravan.
Oh,
I'll
God.
be looking through
Anywhere
my old
but
emails.
Earth.
Yeah.
Anywhere but Earth. All right. Well, thank you for the emails. I suspected that we weren't going to have a lot of emails this week because it is one of those topics that no one has a personal connection to.
But speaking of topics that people have personal connections to, what are we doing next week?
What are we doing? We're doing Studio Ghibli.
We are. Which I think could be a good one.
We're going to pick two that we either love or have always wanted to watch.
Yeah. So I'm torn between three choices at the moment. Nausicaa.
Yep.
The Cat Returns and Porco Rosso.
I'm torn between Mononoke and Nausicaa. I've seen the other two. I think I'm going to do Mononoke because I don't know where it fits otherwise. Unless we do a fantasy episode.
Yeah.
But
it's going to be Studio Ghibli. Whatever it is that we do, it's going to be Ghibli. So
I strongly suspect that Mononoke is going to get watched. And possibly Porco Rosso.
Yeah.
With the famous line, rather be a pig than a cop or fascist.
Yeah. So, see, there you go. It's relevant.
Yeah. Jeez, is it? Isn't it just?
We
so
could do
I
pig
expect
as a
pigs
topic. Pigs as a topic, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could do.
There were quite a few cartoons about pigs.
I was going to say, are we talking police
Farm.
or are we talking animals? Oh God! Animal Farm would be a difficult one to... Yeah. It would be like Watership Down all over again, where it's like, this is a classic, but it's uncomfortable, truly uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah.
And
those are always the best episodes.
That was Harsh Nature, wasn't it? We did Farthing Wood with that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bleak episode.
Bleak Nature, that's what we called it. Yeah.
Bleak Nature, yeah. So we'll do Ghibli next week. I expect a hell of a lot of emails.
Yeah, there better be. Everybody loves Ghibli.
Everyone's got a favourite Ghibli, and I would say that Nausicaa, Spirited Away, and Mononoke are normally at the top. But every now and then you get a what's the one that's based on the Burrowers?
Oh, Arrietty,
or a Ponyo, or a Cat Returns, or something like that. Howl's Moving Castle, and it's just like, they must have watched this one first.
The first one I ever watched was Spirited Away. It was on Channel 4 one day.
first one I ever watched. My friend got it for my birthday because he thought I would like it. Was Mononoke, which is why I've always loved it, and it's just so good.
Yeah, they are good movies. But yeah, we're going to be watching them next time.
Yeah. Just admiring all of the really impressive crowd animations and food animations. Yeah. Evan loves Kiki's Delivery Service, and it's just so good.
Yeah.
So, Okay, so expect lots of emails about that.
If not, we're going to come and beat you up.
Yeah, if not, you're just going to get an hour. So, because we've only been recording for an hour and we're virtually done. Yeah. So would have been a perfect opportunity to have some tangential email information. But on tangents, I read Deceased recently.
It's not bad, is it?
I loved it.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be like pretty
a shit
rubbish.
Zombie thing.
Yeah,
and actually, it's not. It's really good.
I didn't really like the stuff with Cyborg. I didn't really vibe with that stuff. It kind of I thought it was overcomplicating things.
Yeah, I read everything. I read all the supplementary information. I read when Darkseid comes back. I read all the stuff about the new gods, the unkillables. I read
my favourite thing in it was them all being terrified of the Flash being infected, because he can just infect so many people so quickly. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And also, I love that Batman was not a big part of it.
Yeah.
Batman dies very early on, and so does Nightwing and Tim Drake. And Damian is Batman, essentially. It was great.
Yeah.
Damian
really
and
good.
Alfred are the, apart from Stephanie Brown, are the only two Bat family members left alive, because they don't know that Cassandra Cain and Jason Todd are still alive.
Yeah, and there's some really good stuff between Damian and whatever Superman. Yeah, John Kent, whatever his name is.
Really good. They're just they're best friends.
Yeah,
it's just really great. But yeah, I think that Superman trailer looks great as well.
Yeah, same. Yeah,
I don't care what anyone says.
I think there's it might have already come out. I don't remember. There's a Fantastic Four promo thing happening today.
Ooh, I saw the badge, the flight insignia.
I think it's a trailer. I'm not sure, but there was big 24-hour long, lead up to it on YouTube, where you could sit in the queue to wait for the big reveal. I think it's already happened while we've been recording. But yeah,
what a load of shit!
I know, it really bugs me.
I'll just watch it in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
There definitely were people sitting there for 19 hours thinking, "Oh, it's nearly there. We're going to get to see a trailer." You're going to see the trailer anyway.
Oh yeah. First steps, official teaser, 1 minute and 37 seconds.
Oh, great. Brilliant.
All right, so that's what we're going to do afterwards.
I hope we get to see Galactus.
I hope we do too. I'm thinking that we should maybe take a break and then watch it and then just reveal what we think about it.
Yeah, go on then.
Should we do that? Fine, let's do that. Right, we'll be back in a minute with our thoughts on Fantastic Four trailer. Right, okay. Hello, everyone. Unexpected Part 3. We just watched the trailer to Fantastic Four. What did you think?
I didn't mind it. I thought it was good for a teaser. We got to see some action. We got to see them doing Fantastic Four stuff. Mm-hmm. Thought it was interesting that you don't get to see Reed doing stretching.
Yeah, that's weird. You see everyone else use their powers, but you don't see Reed. And it was interesting because that bit where he brought up the blackboard, I thought we were going to see him stretch to the other end of the blackboard because it's a really long blackboard, but we didn't see that. But I do like the retro-futurism of it.
I do. I like the cars. The cars look really cool. They look like cars out of Thunderbirds.
Yeah. And the buildings, and I like the uniforms, the space uniforms. I really like how Ben Grimm looks.
Yes, I do as well. He looks very comic accurate.
Yeah.
His voice does seem a bit weird coming out of the body.
Yeah, it does.
It needs to be gravelier.
You've seen the bear, haven't you?
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah, the one with Moss Baccarat.
Yeah. So he sounds exactly the same as he does in that. He doesn't sound any different. And I know him as stupid Richie, who's hot-headed and stuff like that. So imagining him as this really super supportive character is really strange.
Yeah. The effects of the Human Torch effects were cool. That was neat. And I liked Sue's force field.
Yeah.
It's got good, I can't remember what they call it, but it's like the stylistic thing of where you know who's doing the power. Where it's like when Jean Grey does stuff, it's purple, that sort of thing. I can't remember what they call it.
Object signature and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I like who the fuck's John Malkovich?
I don't know. Yeah, he looked like God.
Mole Man.
I think he's playing God.
But Galactus looks good.
Yes, very good. I liked how big he looks when he's towering over over Manhattan. That looked cool.
Yeah, and he's looking down at the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
That's
symbolism as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I have really high hopes for it. I think it looks good enough as a teaser that I'm, still quite excited about the film.
Great music.
Yeah.
Really like the music. And I like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I just like the aesthetic. It's like something different. I like that sort of... Yeah, it reminds me of Marvel's.
I like the aesthetic, and it's a bit disappointing that we're not going to have it again.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be put into like the mainline universe where this isn't going to be a thing anymore, which is a shame.
I did hear something today that the X-Men film is not going to worry about origins. So it's going to be that Professor X and Jean have been wiping the memories of anyone who... So basically, after the blip, blip has apparently sort of like triggered more mutations.
Oh, cool.
And... Professor X and Jean have been saving mutants before they can be detected and then wiping the memories of anyone who might have heard of
Found
them,
out about
seen them.
Yeah.
So they've been operating in secret for like 10 years.
That's good. I like that. That's a good way of doing it. Yeah. But what are they going to do with like the Holocaust angle with Magneto, though? That's what I'm really interested in.
I think they might do a modern alternative to the Holocaust, or the other way to do it is that you just add a secondary power to Magneto's power that is he just lives longer because of his electromagnetic field.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's such a major part of him that it's going to be difficult to like. I mean, if they did like, it's not really that Holocaust, it was something to do with Sokovia again. Yeah, it's a bit, offensive, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a big part of his personality and a big part of his character, and also things like his tattoo number transfers mediums now. Like the same number that they used in X-Men was the same number that they used in X-Men 97. And I think that's important. It's too big a part of his character. And have you seen some of the potential casting news?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't been keeping
much. The redhead girl who plays Max in Stranger Things is tipped to play Jean Grey.
Yeah.
I can't remember who Cyclops was. Never mind. I'll give you that one.
Wow, thanks.
It's all right. It's okay. I could remember it, and then because Miles Teller played him for a little while, didn't he?
I thought it was pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if they just had him back.
Yeah, he's a man now though, rather than a teen. If they want to go for young, like sort of like 20-somethings,
says Jack Champion for Cyclops.
Who's that?
That is a sick ass name. Holy shit, yeah. Jack Champion. What's he been in? Probably nothing I've ever watched. He's only 20. He's in Scream 6. He's in Avatar: Way of the Water. He's in all the Avatar movies. Good for him.
Or bad for him.
I don't think I've seen anything this guy's been in. He played Kid on Bike in Avengers Endgame, the guy who goes past Ant-Man when he goes, "What happened here?" and he just looks at him and rides off. It was him.
Okay. There's big rumours that Mark Strong is going to be Charles Xavier, which I don't know if he could carry that, really.
That is literally just because he's bald.
Yeah, yeah.
Who's that other one who looks like Mark Strong that I always think is Mark Strong?
Mark Week.
Mark Week, yeah. Let me just, I bet if I Google guy who looks like Mark Strong, it's going to come up with who I'm thinking of. Stanley Tucci.
Stanley Tucci would be a pretty good Professor X.
Yeah, but they do look like the same person. They are literally, they're just the same person. I mean, look at this. Tell me which one is Mark Strong, which one is Stanley Tucci.
So my wife loves Stanley Tucci. She bought a book which is like What I Ate in a Year by Stanley Tucci, which is the most, just ridiculous book ever. She put it up on the mantelpiece in our bedroom as if it were a photo of Stanley Tucci that we had on the mantelpiece. And I was like, why have you put it up like that? And she looked at me and was like, I have no idea.
Part of the family.
It's like me and her, our wedding picture, of a school photo of Evan, and then Stanley Tucci. And I was like, this is weird.
That's funny.
But yes, I'd be all for Stanley Tucci being Professor X.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Right, we should probably wrap up.
We made it half
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to wrap up now. If you want to join our wonderful Discord of people, support the show, suggest ideas, have a chance of coming on as a guest, maybe, then you need to head over to patreon.com/Toonhounds and support the show financially there. You also would get access to what is going to come, our new Daredevil sideshow, which is going to...
I was trying to workshop some names for that one. About better Daredevil you know.
Perfect. That's what it's called now. But I think what we'll do is we're going to talk about some Daredevil-related storylines that we like. We're going to talk about Devil's Reign, which is what Born Again is going to be based on. But But I think we're going to do... We'll probably do episode reviews as well.
Yeah.
Of the new series, because I'm just so excited about that. I just need to watch it, and then we might, if it vibes with people, is that still a thing that people say?
Yeah,
we might go back and do some of the Netflix stuff.
Yeah, we might even watch the Ben Affleck movie.
Why not?
Why not?
Why the hell not? Bullseye is the worst in that film. That's the thing that annoys me the most about it. Oh yeah. Oh my god, we'd have to listen to Evanescence.
Oh yeah. And is it Flyleaf on the soundtrack of that as well?
Oh, I don't know. I know Rob Zombie is.
Yeah.
At least no Nickelback though on that soundtrack. That was reserved for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Just like the era of soundtracks, movie soundtracks, where they were actually produced songs rather than instrumentals, is so irritating to me. But yeah, so you head over to patreon.com and you can get access to all the Daredevil content that we want to put out. I love that our hyperfixations has just become, we both like Daredevil.
Yeah.
You get a comic lecture every episode, so you get a bit of Daredevil as well. Yeah. And you'd get access to the Discord. You'd be able to suggest ideas, such and such and such and such. And if you want to email, even if you don't support us, you can still email. We love it when we get emails from listeners who haven't emailed before, or who listen to the show but don't necessarily support us. That's absolutely fine as well. But you could send an email to toonhounds@gmail.com and we read all emails. So, if you want to talk to us about how you're feeling, cartoons that you liked, even if they're not what we're talking about at the moment, just suggestions that you want us to do, how you want the show to go, you just need to get in touch, basically.
Yeah. Tell us what you had for dinner.
Yeah, why not? I would talk about what I had for dinner every day. Every show. If you have been lumbered with a child's Tamagotchi in the past and you want support on how to deal with that, email in as well, because I'm an expert on that.
Yeah. It could be Rich's help desk.
Oh my god, we had an idea
for advice.
So like interestingly, we had an idea for Story Lords that we were going to do, where we were going to be agony uncles and people were going to send in emails, and we might still do that. But if you want to do that for Toonhounds as well, you can feel free. Right, so next week we're doing Studio Ghibli, and yeah, we will see you then. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for your emails. We love you all, or at least, mildly tolerate you all. And make sure that you are looking after yourself and each other in this time. Hydrate, get some exercise. I've started doing proper exercise again. My God, I exercised last Monday for about 45 minutes, and it took me 4 days to get rid of the pain.
Yeah, I've been doing more exercise because I've had a bit of a head cold, got sinus problems, and I thought, I need to like get air into my lungs and everything.
Yeah.
I've had like pins and needles in one leg for like 3 days. Like every time I sit down, I get pins and needles.
Yeah, I was having what they called the DOMs, where you like you can't get upstairs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh god, this is why people don't exercise.
It's bad for you.
Yeah. So this week I've done it every other day since Saturday, and I'm just like, this is just the pits. Every part of me hurts.
Sucks.
But exercise, that's what you need to do. Right. Anyway, thank you everyone, and we'll see you in 2 weeks for more Toonhounds goodness. Bye.
Bye.